In this tutorial, we are going to create the watercolor blueberries. No, it's that simple. So just go follow along on my tutorial. And please don't be afraid to blend ingredients with watercolors. And it's okay to make mistakes, just like what I do. So in the meantime, let's get this tutorial started. So we're gonna be using the watercolors from a palette. There's aluminum round palette to mixing of the pigments. And last but not the least is I'll be using my water brush pen. But of course you can use a watercolor brush with a cup of water and a paper towel, or you can use a sponge that was you have been known what you were thinking of is for you to wipe off any excess paint from the nib. And I made this a little bit zoom in so you can see it closer, you can see it better. And what we're gonna do is be using blue. So we'll be using this blue. You can see it better the way I took this tray out. And let's put it on a clear palette. I know some of you guys have a plastic palette or plastic crate. If you don't have this exact one as I'm using or similar one, it is a nice color. We'll be using with some white because I'm gonna make light blue. We're gonna start with the light blue color. So we'll be using white and we're just gonna mix it. And the important tip is that make sure you do not let any pigment go in the white color, because otherwise there won't be enough white paint. And make sure you have something like this. Mine should be a little bit bluer. Let's see. Yeah, so we're gonna start here. Start on the top. And so I've drawn 6. You can just do as many as you'd like. Okay, that's 2. And because I'm going to be using the actual blue color, and we're just going to create a little gradient. And okay, let's rinse this brush first. I mean that we're gonna still, and I think you can see this one looks as okay. So now let's blend together. Make sure you know how this blending technique works. So now we can paint onto those parts as were the blueberries plucked out from its stems. We're gonna be using blue, and we might consuming with some black. But first, let's get 3 amounts of blue from the palette first. The way it looks like this. And then let's get some black. Let's go on the top. It's like the crown shape parts I've made. You've drawn it. So my painting is nearly dried. What I can do is we can put a base, and let's adjust water 3 times to make it clear. Should be like this, but I've added 2. You can do like 2 to 3 squirts of water onto your pigment as long as it gets clear. Just like from the other video where I taught you the gradients of watercolors. Okay, and so we're gonna do this, but we're not gonna do the top part actually, because we can see the highlights there right above. I think it's about it. And one last thing we forget is some outlines. Let's highlight every blueberry one by one. So we're gonna start like this. And make sure your watercolor painting is soon to be dried enough. Because of course, I don't think you could outline on those shapes that when they're still wet. So since my video, you think it's getting way too long, so we're just gonna be doing it until you'll actually see something like this. I know you've made it all the way to the end so far. I know it took a little while for me, for my method here. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you don't forget to like and subscribe. And I can see your blueberry paintings, is how well you've done creating this. So goodbye for now.